I love how AI can make websites quickly, but I don't like how many of them just look like this. It's what I call AI slop. It's generic, the spacing isn't the best, and it kind of just looks like a template from 2014. If you hand this to a client, they may just ask for their money back. The problem isn't that AI can't code, the problem is that AI by default has terrible taste. But what if an AI agent actually understood design? What if it could iterate, refine, and produce UI that looks like it was crafted by an award winning agency and then write the production ready code for it? Well, that's what Combi does. They partnered with me for this video, and I want to show you how Combi can make a front end that actually looks nice. So I am in VS Code, and we have Combi right here. It actually lives right in VS Code. It's a VS Code extension, and you can get it for a lot of different IDEs. So a lot of AI tools just take your prompt and spit out their first guess, but Kombi does something completely different. So I'm going to put a prompt in here. Let me just zoom in a little bit. And there's a few different modes we can do. We can do plan mode, code mode, debug, ask, or design. I'm going to use the design mode. And it's going to design a landing page for a high-end mechanical keyboard brand. And I give it some things of what I want it to look like. And we have a few different thinking modes. We'll just keep it on auto, and then I will submit. So watch the chat stream here. Basically, before it even creates a single pixel of the page, Kombi is going to do some research. It's basically going to access a curated library of award-winning websites, and it's going to pull specific color schemes, and it's going to think through a creative strategy. So it's not just guessing, it's actually finding inspiration. And so it just opened this in a browser, and this is basically the design mode. So we're going to see what it's designing, and we'll be able to use it to edit things. Okay, and it's done, and it tells just a description of what it designed. So we have a beautiful base, and this is where some AI tools will fall apart. You ask it to change one button, and it hallucinates a completely different layout. I've had that happen many times with AI, but here we are on an infinite canvas, and I can edit precisely. So I can actually click right into the text. So I'm going to click right into this text here. And if I go to edit, so if I click on this edit button here, I can click right into the text. And now I can change all the CSS properties on the side. Like for example, I can change the color. So let's say I want this to be more of a yellow color instead of a blue color. And we can do anything. We can actually change the background also. We can change the alignment of the different text, and I can go into any element and just make some changes. Let's say I want this text to be bolder. So we can go all the way from light to bold. I can change the font size. So it's easy to make very specific edits that I want to make. Like here, I'm going to click into this whole section. I can change the alignment to where everything is aligned, and there's just a bunch of things that I can do. And at any time I can click the preview button here, and it's going to open up into a new tab, and we're going to be able to see what the full website looks like. This looks pretty nice. And here I can actually tell it if I want it to refactor anything. So I'll just say change the background of this page to be just a bit lighter, but I should still be able to see the light text. So I sent it to the agent. And if we go over to Visual Studio Code, we can also see what was sent to the agent, because I could be also sending it through this chat box here. And so it's going to make some updates. Okay, it made the update. And I can see a slightly lighter color in the background here. Now another thing that's nice is the style guide gallery. So if I click this style guide button here, we can create a style. And I'll just do import from design, and I'm just going to select this section of the page. And then I'll just select the page that I want to extract the style from and say extract style. And right now it's analyzing the style. You can see how it's analyzing the style here. This is going to help us ensure consistency. So we can pick a specific visual vibe, or even upload a reference image or Figma file, and then Kombi will create additional pages using the rules and the style. So here is the style guide here, and it has all the information about how to make other pages using this exact same style. So this design looks good. It doesn't really look like AI slop, but it's useless if the code is a mess. So this is where Kombi flexes its muscles as a specialized front-end coding agent. So back here, I'm going to click on the code design button here. So I'm going to go over here in Visual Studio Code and switch to code mode, and I'll just say code this design. So I'm just going to click where it says the code design button, and then we can see that in our chat over here in Visual Studio Code, it's added that context to the chat, and I say code this design, and then I will just click send. Oh, I'm also on the code mode right here. So now I will click submit here, and Kombi is now taking that design and writing production quality code, and it's noticing that the repo is empty and it has to basically start from scratch. So we'll just let it work on this code. And now it just starts the entire web. So we'll just check in on this in a bit. I did have to select that I want to run different commands. And it also keeps track of the tech stack for the project. So it's allowing me to save the stack so it knows for the future how it's supposed to create the project. And you can see it's now live, and it gives a summary of what was built. And here it is. Here is it live, and we have the Kombi on the side where if I want to ask for any changes, but we can see this is now a full live page, even is counting down here. And this is all created with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And let me show you some of the other things we can do with this sidebar here. So first of all, I can click this button here to open the resource tab, and then it gives all these resources that we could add to our page if we want. So like I could click in here, and I could prompt Kombi to use Magic UI, and basically there's design inspirations, typography, animation library. But we also had all these edit buttons here. Like here, add reference elements. So if I click there, now I can click any element on the page. Like I could click right here. So basically you don't have to guess the CSS class. We can select the DOM element, and then we can give precise visual instruction in the text box here, or we can change things right within the CSS down here. Like let's change this font weight to black, and we can see the update happen right in there, just how we saw before. But now it's creating the changes right in our page. There's also like this edit text on page, so we can click edit text, and now I can go and edit text right on the page. If I want to say created, and then we can actually, it's almost like a what you see is what you get editor, and everything that we change on the page here, it's going to change in our code. We also have our snipping tool, where I can select a section like this, and now I can say what I want to do with that section. So I'll say make the text in the snip larger with a serif font. And if we go back over here, we can now see it making the changes. And while it's working on that, I want to show you that we can go to the code. So this is just all the code for our page, and we can just edit it just like any other code. Also, I want to show you this. If I go back to Kombi, I can click this button down here called context graphs. And I'm going to click set up context graph and add your first context graph. This is going to help Kombi understand and reuse existing code, and we can choose what we want to start with. I'll do the reusable source code, and then the current workspace, and then continue here, and then build the context graph. Now, it's going to look at our existing repo and the npm packages, the storybook, and it's going to ensure that the code it writes actually reuses the existence and design token. So this is especially useful if we are running Kombi in a pre-existing repo that we didn't write ourselves, or that Kombi did not create. So basically, it's going to write code the way a C engineer would write it. Okay, so it found all these different components, the footer, the gallery, the hero, and It's basically has a description of each element on the page. So I think that this page turned out pretty good. It looks really nice, and I think it looks way better than most AI websites. It looks really professionally designed, and Kombi makes it so easy to make different changes. This is the difference between generating a website and actually designing one. Kombi gives you the speed of AI generation, but with the creative control, the refinement, and the context awareness required to build great front ends. You can try it out using the link in the description. And thanks for watching.